So here's another example on a geometric sequence. This is the sequence that goes from 8, -4, 2, -1. Now if you look at this, the first problem we're going to have here is to find the common ratio. Okay, so you ask yourself, the simplest way to ask yourself this question is, what am I multiplying 8 by to get to -4? What do I multiply -4 by to get to 2? What do I multiply 2 by to get to -1? Well, you look at this and you think, well, the sign is changing. Okay, so the sign is changing. That means I'm going to need a minus in here. Okay, I'm going to need to multiply by a minus. And the other thing you're doing is, if you just look at the numbers 8, 4, 2, 1, this looks like you're dividing by 2. Okay, but dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2. Okay, so dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2. Now, a lot of you maybe know that already, but just in case you don't know it, it's something that is very useful to learn. Okay, dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2. So we're dividing the numbers by 2, which means we're in reality multiplying by 1/2. And the sign is changing, 8, -4, so it's positive, negative, positive, negative. When there's a sign change, the common ratio has to be negative. The sign is changing, and that's why we need the negative. The sign is changing in the sequence, and that means the common ratio must be negative. Okay, so that's our R. Okay, common ratio, we call it R, and is equal to -1/2 in this case. Okay, find the general term of the sequence. Well, the general term, we've seen this before in the last example. The general term, the formula for the general term of a geometric sequence is an equals a1 times r to the power of n minus 1. So in this case, that's going to be an is equal to a1 is the first term, that's 8, by r is -1/2 to the power of n minus 1. And that's it. We don't need to do any more. That's it. That's the general term. Now you're asked to find the 9th term of the sequence. Okay, so the 9th term. 9th term means we make n equal to 9. And fill that into the general sequence, into the general term. Okay, so n is equal to 9, so we're going to have a9 is equal to 8 times -1/2 to the power of 9 minus 1. That's 8 times -1/2, n minus 1 is 8. So let's do that in your calculator. So it's going to be 8 times, we'll figure out the -1/2 to the power of 8 first. So -1/2 to the power of 8. Okay, let's clear anything that's there. And we're going to put it in parentheses because it is a fraction. So -1/2 is -1/2 to the power of 8. Okay, and that's equal to 0.00390625. Now let's see if we can turn it into a fraction. Sometimes we can turn these into fractions, turn decimals into fractions. To do it, try math. And now 1 gives you fraction, so you hit 1 and enter. And you get 1/256. 1/256. So it's 8 times 1/256. And then let's multiply that. 8 times 1/256. Well, we have that there already, so just multiply it by 8. And you get 0.03125. So here's another chance to turn a decimal into a fraction. Hit math, and you can do enter, or you just math 1 and enter, and you get 1/32. Okay, so there we go. A9 is 1 over 32. So if we extend this sequence on, for the 9th term we'll have 1 over 32. Okay, and that's it.